Well, it's January 2024, and it's time again for the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa. We went there last year. We had a great time. We're looking forward to going again and just checking out things and seeing a bunch of people. More details on that here shortly. But what better time to kind of give you our perspective of having this rig, the Alliance310RL, for 3 years. We took delivery on it in April 2021. We left Texas in July of 2021, and we put about 28,000 miles on her. And we want to show you just the good, bad, and the ugly of how this rig has performed.
So let's take a couple of minutes just to kind of give you a synopsis of what we've done the last 3 years. Wow, what great places, experiences, and people this rig has allowed us to enjoy these last 3 years. But some people ask, why this particular rig? Well, first of all, I would probably say the size is a lot of the reason we chose this one, because we wanted it to be able to fit easily into national parks and state parks. And
yeah, this rig is right at 35 feet, and so that seems to be the magic number, at least what we researched, to get into state and national parks.
Not too big, not too small. Also, it's big enough to be comfortable for the two of us, plus a dog. It has all of the comforts of home that we were looking for when we were trying to make this decision. It's been great.
Yeah, and it's small enough to be nimble. I guess that's part of it, because we travel a lot, and so meaning that we tend to move a lot. We don't stay stationary for a long period of time, except in the winter. So we wanted to have something that, again, that was comfortable and nimble. The weight was important as well. So we have a 1-ton diesel truck, single rear wheel, and so we had to be careful about the payload capacity, not so much the towing capacity. And so this rig is 15,000 pounds GVWR, and the pin weight dry is like 2,500 pounds. So we've got 3,500 pounds of payload capacity in our truck. So that gave us the ability to bring enough, long enough stuff and not worry about being overweight, we think.
Although I might have a few things that have kind of put us overweight, but it's okay. It's a constant battle. You know, the whole one thing in, one thing out rule. Well, I don't necessarily.
Yeah, it's two things in, maybe something out. So first off, why did we choose an Alliance rig outside of the size of this? One is Alliance has flush floor slides, and we really like that.
Yeah.
There's no carpet, which I think
no carpet because I may have mentioned before, we have a shedding SHEDDING dog.
Careful.
And it's really important to have no carpet. So
yeah, that was important. They did direct dump AC. So we have 3 ACs and a 35-foot fifth wheel. So when we're in hot climates, even like Montana in the summertime, it kept us very, very cool. So that was good. The running gear was important. So Alliance uses oversized leaf springs, and the axles are two 7,000-pound axles for a GVWR of 15,000 pounds. So that made a lot of sense because we know we've got some headroom with that. And what we did here is that Alliance customer service was really, really good. And now that we've had the rig 3 years, we actually have a lot of experience with that. And that's some of the things that we're going to detail in this video.
Yeah, because there is the good and there's also the not so good.
So I guess before we get into really kind of the issues that we've had, and then again, they've been mostly minor. I want to talk about some of the upgrades that we did, which I think has actually helped one in, enhance the experience that we've had with the rig, and even probably give the rig a little bit more stability. So in terms of power, we added 2 lithium-ion batteries, 100 amp hour piece, and we've got 400 watts of solar. And that's not a lot relative to a lot of people
What a
these
lot of
days.
people do, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been enough for us to boondock. We have a residential refrigerator, so it requires 110 volt, and that's been enough really to get us through a night or two if the sun's out.
Actually, it's actually been really fine.
Yeah, we haven't had any issue with waking up in the morning with no power. We did have the one issue, and I think that was a loose fuse, but that was something even I could fix. So that was not a big deal. We have a 2,000 watt inverter, if I didn't mention that before. We added disc brakes. That's been a great thing. And we added sumo springs. We think that's really helped kind of the aspect of that. So let's talk about how it's held up and some of the good things that, I say that it's a given, but we do know that other manufacturers have had these issues. So one is the tires, and that's always been a source of like, oh, the China bombs. And these came with Sterling tires, and they held up really well. I mean, I think we had about 18, maybe even 20,000 miles on it when we replaced them. And quite frankly, we didn't have to replace them, but we knew we were going for a long trip.
Yeah.
And I was replacing the truck tires, and I thought, you know what, bite the bullet.
Do it all at once.
Get that done. So we upgraded those to Saloons. That's been good. No bent frame that we know of, no flex frame. We haven't had that issue. No bent axles, no broken leaf springs. And that's been really important because we know some other people have had those issues. And probably, if that wasn't important enough, we had heavy rains a couple days ago, and we have not noticed any roof leaks at all. So that's been good. It's held up. So that's how it's held up relative to that. But I think let's talk about the not so good. And I want to break this up into 2 aspects. One is the OEM side of it, so the other equipment manufacturers that Alliance uses. It's not their issue, but these are products that they put in the rigs, and then we'll talk about the Alliance issues. So let's start with the OEM related stuff. So we mentioned a 2,000 watt inverter for our residential refrigerator and TV, and some other things in here, which has been suitable. We're on not number 2, not number 1, not number 2, but number 3 inverter, and that's Progressive Dynamics. Again, that's not Alliance. Now, they've been really good to help us with that. So the first inverter failed in was it 6 weeks or something like that?
Pretty fast.
Yeah, it was like right after our shakedown trip, and the inverter failed. I'm like, really? Got that resolved, and then I guess about a year later, the second inverter happened. So that was 2021, first one, 2022, second one. We did not replace any in 2023.
Oh, no.
So let's hope 2024 is not the year to replace it again. Progressive Dynamics has also been very supportive. It was under warranty. They replaced that. Mobile Tech came out and got that taken care of, so that was good. Hot water heater.
Yeah, well, that was just a teeny tiny little pinhole that we didn't know was there until actually it, I guess you found the water. Yeah.
Well, what was interesting about that is we were in a campground in Texas back visiting our kids, and the other brand next to us had the garage doors open for like 2 days, and I talked to the owner. So what's going on? He said, oh, we've got a major leak under here, and we've got a tech coming out really trying to troubleshoot this. And I said, knock on wood, we haven't had any leaks.
You jinxed us.
And literally like a day later, I happened to look in the under the hot water heater. I'm like, where's that water coming from?
And there it is.
Yeah. Challenge was it was a small leak, like Pam said. It was a pin. It was a weld that had broken. But here's an issue, and here's again a suggestion I would say to not only Alliance but all manufacturers. Put a pan underneath that and some kind of a drain valve so you sort of know.
Yeah, and if you had a pan, that'd be great because those water sensors could just sit in that pan.
Yeah, you would know right away.
Yeah.
Did you say water sensors?
Well, because we did purchase water sensors after the fact, We won't talk about if we've actually put them out yet.
Oh, we can talk about it. We haven't. We haven't installed them yet. So,
Oh, yeah.
so they, the good news is that we don't know about any leaks. The bad news is we haven't installed the water sensors.
So therefore, we don't know about any leaks.
That's on my list to do. So anyway, so when tech came out to replace the hot water heater, they had to rebuild that whole platform, the whole wooden platform that's in there. We were concerned about mold. We didn't have any, thank goodness. That was great. But again, RV Manufacturers Alliance, if you're listening, find a small pan, a plastic one, so we can put a sensor in there and it wouldn't be an issue. And you wouldn't have to rebuild the whole platform if you had a failure. Third one from an OEM perspective, not too bad, but we've got 6 hydraulic jacks on the rig for 6-point leveling, and 2 of the jacks have failed so far. Now, again, to Lippert and Alliance's credit, they have replaced those jacks
both times.
Yeah, and one happened when we were on the way up to the rally last year, so good timing, and we had to finagle some way to kind of keep it from continue to come down. Yeah, so we got that resolved. So those are OEM related things, and I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad. Let's talk about some of the Alliance related things. And again, as we do this, we're going to be constructive and we're going to criticize, but we're going to be give you some constructive criticism back, much like the hot water pan. So first one, and 2 of these revolve around Shreveport. And if you've ever been through Shreveport and I-20,
take the bypass.
it's like that should be like the RV proving grounds, because if stuff doesn't come off the wall in Shreveport, then you can rest assured your rig's pretty solid. I don't know if it was the first time or second time we came through Shreveport. We got to the campground and man, we put the bedroom slide out and it made all kinds of noises. And you're actually the one that not found the issue, but you saw, because we didn't.
Well, yeah, because I'm standing there and I'm like, why is the end of the bed crooked? I mean, it was an easy giveaway, and turned out we found out why it was crooked.
Yeah, the bed frame had come off the wall.
Yeah, wait, no, I know, no comments, because it wasn't what you think. Those roads in Shreveport are really worse than you can imagine. And can do a lot of damage.
And if it's what you think, otherwise, and I'm okay with that too. So, no, so here's again a kind of a tip for the manufacturers, and that is when we took the bed frame apart and looked at it, you can see it was a 1x2 that was literally drilled into the wall, but there's not a lot to hold onto those walls with. So we thought that's just not a good methodology. We had, and again, Alliance paid for a tech to come out and repair this.
Which they've really done that fantastically, getting the techs to come to us.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
A little later,
we talked to the tech and said, hey, the way I would do this is I'd put a 1x6 on that board, on the wall, glue it, and then screw it. And he says, that's exactly what I do. So he took a 1x6, I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 feet, put that onto the wall itself, glued it, screwed the bed frame into that. And you know what? That was in 2021, I believe that happened. No more. Yeah, we had it fixed in 2022, and it has not come off the wall since. Thank goodness. But speaking of Shreveport, because you got to speak of Shreveport. So last year, and you may have seen the video on this, we came through and our kitchen slide, which does have most of the weight, came unbuckled, and we had a real issue with that. Thank goodness, good friends of ours, Joel and Tanya from This Is Our Adventure, came to the rescue. They were close by.
Joel's a RV tech and inspection person, so they saved us.
And he has the patience of a saint, and I quite frankly don't. So he and Tanya came out and we got it resolved temporarily, went back to the factory. And what we found was the issue is sleds, which actually help the flush floor slides come up and over and get lifted. The screws that they were using are self-tapping screws through the sheet metal into the OSB. And I'm not that smart of a guy, but I know that you're not supposed to use self-tapping screws into that. So again, Alliance, if you're watching, and we'll talk about it at the show here a little bit, my suggestion would be take those sleds, pre-drill holes in those, and then drive wood screws into that in the OSB, flush floor on it, and some kind of a bonding agent, whether it's wood glue or whatnot. And I gotta believe they would not have come unbuckled.
Yeah. Well,
let's
hope that maybe a few of these changes that we've recommended have been incorporated. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So those are really probably the 2 biggest issues. And then the last one, and this was a common known issue, and although it really did manifest itself into something we saw, certain serial numbers had a rear wall issue where the bottom part of the rear wall, the welds would break on the frame, and it would allow the rear wall to shake back and forth. Alliance knew it. They told their customers about it, and they resolved that. And I
Yeah,
know
so
that.
that there were only a few models or a few RVs during a certain period of time that had that issue.
Yeah, so that they have resolved that in the manufacturing process, and they've resolved that. They resolved that for us. Again, all in all, really not. I mean, not major issues, given the fact that we've taken this thing all over the country a couple times. So we wanted to just kind of detail that to you and let you know. But to Pam's point about customer service, I mean, they've been.
Oh, they've been fantastic. Yeah. So when you hear people talk about how great the customer service is with Alliance, it's true. We'll vouch for that for sure. I think anybody who has an Alliance who's had to deal with issues
Yeah,
would say that.
there may be an outlier or two, but at the end of the day, a lot of manufacturers will require you or insist that you go to a dealer. And when you're living full time, most time, like we are, like a lot of other folks are, you just can't do that. You can't just bring it in the rig in there and say, "Hey,
Leave it for 2 months.
live for 2 months and maybe we'll fix it, maybe we'll not." And that's not a hit against dealers, but maybe it is kind of, sort of. So, but Alliance has been really good about dispatching and working with mobile techs to come out to your site to get stuff resolved. When you're there and not have to bring the rig in and
Yeah,
unpack
that's
out those
huge,
kinds of
actually.
things. So that's kind of really in a nutshell. It's been a good success. We love it. We will be at the Alliance booth. If you're going to the Tampa show, we'd love to
Which
meet
we
you.
hope you are.
Yeah, we hope.
Because meeting everybody, that's really the fun of it for us.
Yeah, we'll be at the booth on Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m. And so one thing that's really cool about Alliance, and by the way, we're not Alliance fanboys and fangirls. We just have had, for our first RV, we've had good success with it, right? It's been, again, not without its share of issues, but they have been good to get us back on the road, and taken care of. So one of the things they do at the Tampa show is they have an owners section, so you can talk to people like us and some other owners that have actually used these. And if you're looking for a fifth wheel or a toy hauler or now even a travel trailer, they'll have owners of those different rigs to talk to you about their experiences. And what better thing to do than talk to an owner than as to a salesperson? And I was a salesperson for a long time, but talk to the owners.
Yeah, but just know that they don't pay any of us in any way to be there and to talk honestly with their prospective customers. So it's a great way to share information, the good and the bad, and help you guys make decisions if you're on the fence about what to buy.
Yeah, so hope if you are going to the show, we'd love to meet you guys as well. Love to come talk with Alliance and obviously make your own decision. But you're going to find people that have got real world experience there with how these things have held up in real world use. So anyway, we hope you appreciate this video. We hope to see you at the show. We hope you guys love the kind of content that we put out. This is not sort of normal for us. We're typically more of a travel vlog channel, but we wanted to share our experience. So if you like what we do,
hit that subscribe button.
Right on time.
Thumbs up. Ring the bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. And share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends.
Yes, yeah. We're, obviously we're trying to grow our channel, and if you share it with your friends, it helps us out tremendously. And don't forget to comment, because that's also something we really love.
Ask questions about our experience. If we didn't answer fully or have clarity in what we talked about, ask the comment. We love the engagement with people. So I hope to see you at the show. And if we don't see you at the show, we hope to see you on the road.
Safe travels.